Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Burr with the Tattooed Spirit. We have left the spring of the 5 of coins, and we're now into the 6, that wonderful number that represents communication and gifts and generosity. This is a very equitable distribution of all the materialness of life, of time, of money, of attention, of affection. When you happen to pull this card, you should be feeling good with those scales being fair. This means that there is true generosity taking place, and to the right amount. A lot of times you may question, how much time am I giving my kids? How much time, how much attention should I be given this other position or this other situation or this other person before it becomes unfair? You could pull the cards and kind of see what they say, ask for the inspiration, the guidance, and support. If this card comes up, you can just kind of rest. Everything is kind of cool. Everything is very fair. If it comes here, this means that although it may have initiated fair, there is now a situation of just an unequal sharing of whatever materialness in your life that you happen to be being in. Okay? It's really, it's like giving turns to pity and resentment. And not that that can't be corrected, but whenever, and you'll probably know already whenever this card comes up, what in your day is just an unfair distribution of attention or money or whatever happens to be. This goes very hand in hand about this failure to launch that sort of comes up in here. I don't know why. It is the magic of the randomness of the cards. Early, I think it was a first or second video, how I talk about how there's like a communication, just like when using the runes with randomness and not having a set order. And that's why it's wonderful to shuffle these cards. These cards come in very, very often together. It just happens. I'm not here to answer why it just happens. But reversed, it should give you an opportunity to really evaluate with this sense of fairness about everything that comes in and out of your state of being. I hope that I can find the other card here. This is the Justice card. This is the 11th card in the major arcana. This is the influence of fairness and personal responsibility. I believe it's the only other time that you see a character holding a fair set of scales. This is taking personal responsibility. When this card comes in upside down, those scales get all messed up. Things aren't equitable anymore. You should remember the other card that has this wonderful straight set of scales with fairness. The story I have with this particular card is something that I just used with a client just 2 weeks ago, where I can obviously change name, but Fred came to me and he was feeling very bad about a situation where I'll just make up somebody else, where his brother Bill's son was taking a lot of money from Fred for school. And it was initiated where Fred was just going to, keep offering money to help with school books and certain expenses with college. And over time, Bill's son kept on changing all of the courses and going back to school and wanted more degrees, and there was a very gray area about when Fred's generosity was going to end. So he was very, very, very struggle with this. He didn't want to he didn't know how to approach this conversation with Bill about his son. And Fred had a lot of cash, but it became unfair. It became inequitable, I suppose is the term. So how we use this card in therapy, and just to give you some insight on how powerful these cards are, using a neuro-linguistic programming technique, we took, because I have a couple different sets in my office, I took the one card, and because I don't have the other 6 of coins, I'll use this Hierophant here. Whenever you sort of hold your arms down, this is how we use this card. This is how you're going to be able to use it yourself, which is very, very exciting. Where you kind of place your arm at a 90-degree, I don't know if you can see this from the frame, with that card face up. And you put in it all of the good reasons why this initiated and why it felt good and why it was fair. And then you have that card turned reverse. And you put into that card, you put into that hand, all the feelings, all the reasons why it became why it became feeling bad. And as you talk, and as you use certain cues and take certain suggestions about the highest intention for yourself in both of these situations, you find that your body, it's called ideomotor response, brings these two cards together. It brings your two hands together. Now, if you're doing this in front of you guys, you'll find that as your hands come together, what you're doing is aligning the two cards so that they're both face up. And subconsciously, you begin to align the different reasons, the highest expectations, and the best reasons why you felt good about it from the beginning, and the highest reasons why it now feels bad for yourself. And as you bring them together, as you find your body bringing these together, if you're lucky enough to have two decks, and then it changes your programming to then morph these two conflicting feelings about that particular situation feeling so bad and unfair. Because it did start well. It just happened to end up bad. So to move forward, you have to somehow rectify, to have that conversation. It ended up going great. Fred and Bill ended up having a wonderful conversation. It was a lot easier than he thought. But it was the subconscious blockage of, it started great, but now it sucks, and I don't know what to do because the intention's there, but now it sucks. And until his mind, and remember I draw that circle at the very, very beginning, until you align the conscious understandings with all this subconscious stuff, bringing those two cards together to literally line them up on top of each other, that made the change. That is what we're going to have you do once you go through all these cards and get into all these other really, 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 really cool stuff that we have planned for you to take this spiritual tarot and change your life on a subconscious level. So take this wonderful, fair card and feel good about it. And understand that it's also okay to not feel okay about certain situations where you find yourself being in. Because there's always a way out. The cards will always inspire and suggest a better way to be so that you can sort yourself through. I'll see you next for the 7. I just had a very cool experience with this 7 just today. I'm going to share that with you in the next video. I'll see you in just a moment. If I can get these cards straightened out. I have 50 cards all over the place. I'll see you in a second once I organize myself.